by our previous edition. It's a youth program, BHF. We try to educate our youth, to carry them along, and to give reasonable counsel and advice uh, which they were wrong with. Because one of the things I found out is that if people are not properly informed, they will be deformed. And most people take action based on wrong information. And wrong information could be very dangerous. When you begin to take action based on wrong information, you find that it becomes very, very destructive. Just to find out that everything you have been saying, they are born out of ignorance, not from the truth, but from fabricated lies. That's why we try as much as possible to see how we can get people informed in this program, so that whatever they are doing, whatever they are saying, will be based on a well-informed position. Because when you are well-informed, you are bound to take, you will take the right decisions. Because most decisions are not, especially if you want to begin to bank on social media. For example, on social media now, what is reigning now is that one of the former governors of Anambra State is dead. But we also find out that most they also news that came in from social media also, that you should ignore the information, and the informations are lies. So anybody that tend to run with the information it gets from social media, we run in vain, we run in error. Because most of those things you get there are not really correct. So today we just want to lay our own opinion and counsel regarding what we've been saying before, regarding what is trending. The tweets that Donald Trump put out that he will visit Nigeria because of the Christian genocide, and he's going to attack the terrorists. The tweet from Donald Trump was very explicit, it was very clear. He said the terrorists will be wiped out, the terrorists. But we've seen a lot of reactions, a lot of comments here and there. And after viewing those comments again and again, I just come to the conclusion that those who don't want Donald Trump to wipe out the terrorists in Nigeria are either terrorist sympathizers, or those who are benefiting from terrorism, or those who are financiers of terrorism. Hello, you're welcome. How are you, Gabriel? You're welcome. Please always indicate if you're not from Nigeria, indicate that we know the country you are chatting me from. But one thing we cannot doubt is the fact that there's genocide in Nigeria. There's Christian genocide in Nigeria. Whatever name you want to call it, a lot of Christians have been wiped out, have been killed by these Islamists, by these Fulani Islamists. And let's be very clear, there's no crisis between Christians and Muslims. No, there's no crisis like that. There's no crisis between Christians and Muslims in Nigeria. There's none. But we have a set of people, the Fulanis, who were originally not from Nigeria, who migrated through Usman Dan Fodio, and they were able to come conquer some territories in Nigeria, 17-something, 18-something. They got settlement here and there. These people have no value for human life. But again, I try as much as possible, in as much as there's no crisis between the Muslims and the Christians in Nigeria. Most of the things we've been hearing is that these people who are responsible for this massive genocide against Christianity in Nigeria are Islamic fundamentalists. And one of the questions I tend to ask is this: when you say Islamic fundamentalists, most of what they are doing, are they in the Quran? Most of the actions and the beliefs these fundamentalists are running with, are they actions and beliefs that is in the Quran? Now, if you look at it, most of these things are actions that are actually in the Quran. So when you say fundamentalists, we seem not to understand the meaning of that fundamentalist. Because the fact is that it's there in the Quran that the unbelievers, those who don't accept Islam, should be killed, should be dealt with. They call them infidels. Now, if it is there in the Quran, and these people are doing the same thing, what makes them extremists? So we can be able to say the crisis we are facing in Nigeria is a crisis that some set of people are insisting on enforcing what is in the Quran. It's not about being fundamentalists. They are insisting that they must enforce what is written in the Quran. That the people of the book, those who are not yet Muslims, should be persecuted, killed until they accept Islam. It's a terrible way of evangelism, Islamic evangelism, where you have to kill people until they submit to your religion. And the question I want to ask now is that we have a lot of religion in the world today. We have Christians, we have Buddha, we have this, we have Krishna, we have this. Now, if every religion have it in their book that until they accept a religion, kill them, this world will be in chaos. We'll be in total chaos. So the problem we are having now is a problem of what is written there that people are trying to enforce. I watched a program some time ago and somebody says, a very good Muslim who doesn't do killing, who doesn't do this, doesn't do that, is a Muslim who don't obey the Quran to its fullest. Because these things are stated there. In fact, the way they were able to conquer the north, Usman Dafefe was able to conquer the north. He conquered the north through jihad, through killing. That is the way he was able to conquer the north. So it is a footstep of what they find out that these Islamists are following. And it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing when religion has become a tool of manipulations. And these religions especially are seen by the Fulanis. It happens to be a strategy and a system to wipe out your identity and impose their culture as their identity. If everybody decides to say, okay, they want to become Muslims in Nigeria, before you know what is happening, 99% of the identity will be wiped out. It is the Fulani identity that will be imposed. Because the prayer is in Fulani, everything. So it just spreading Fulani's ideology, lifestyle, way of behavior, and which is the tragedy we are facing in Nigeria today. Where people say where we have people who you call fundamentalists, people that want to obey the Quran by all standards, by enforcing the Quran, killing the infidels, hacking them to pieces. And it's unfortunate. And it looks as if the safest country in the world today is a country without religion. Because if you look at Christianity himself, you find out that what we have called Christianity today is something that was adulterated by the Roman Empire. Because Jesus himself came to restore he came to restore relationship with God the Father. He came to restore relationship with God. He didn't come to impose religion. Jesus did not come to impose religion. What Jesus came to do is to connect you to the Father through a relationship. So most of these things you are seeing today, they are all from the Roman Catholic. They started this building. Jesus said, the Bible says in the book of Acts, for example, it said God does not dwell in the temple that is made with hands. He dwells in the temple of the human body. But when they want to build the cathedral and they want to justify it, they quote Solomon's temple. But Solomon's temple is the Old Testament. It is the Old Testament. It's not in the New Testament. So you see, there's a lot of adulteration from the main thing which Jesus came to do, a story relationship. And this building is becoming a distraction. The building is becoming a distraction. It's now more about building and building and building and building and building, but not relationship. And like I said, Jesus came to restore relationship with God the Father. He didn't come to build buildings. No. It comes so that we can build our hearts and ourselves to having a solid relationship with God. So all the religions we have today have a means of adulteration. So I want to say that, just like I've always said before, the people you call Islam fundamentalists are people who are insisting that they must follow the Quran to the letter. Because most of the things they are doing is in the Quran. And if the things they are doing is in the Quran, how are they extremists? Do you have extremists in obeying the Quran? If it's the Quran and they want to obey it, how are they extremists? And that's why I said the holy book that encourages one to kill and to do this, is something that is very, very strange, something that you just cannot understand, that this crisis will be there forever. Because this crisis is crisis that is stated there in the book, whether you call it holy book or not, is stated there. They are trying to obey what is in the book. And if what is in the book is to kill infidels, that's what they are trying to do. So we need to begin to see how we can separate religion from our state. Religion should be a personal thing. You can't tell me that you have a government, you have an intelligence report, DSS is there, Director of Military, DMI is there, everything is there, and they cannot trace and stop insecurity. It's a president from America that wants to see how he can stop insecurity. I can't believe that. Nigerian army is well equipped to stop insecurity. But the question you want to ask yourself is, do they really want to stop insecurity? Because the army is divided between Christians and Muslims. And look at it, you even have more Muslims. And so if you have more Muslims there, then you can't stop insecurity. Because as far as you're concerned, those people that are doing those things believe that they are obeying Allah. So how do you stop them from obeying Allah? How do you stop them? So to me, the fathers of Nigeria that helped us get independence, they did not really study the Nigerian situation very, very well and decide whether we should live as one. And if we must live as one, how do we live? Since we are people of different culture, different religion, our religion believes differently. We don't serve the same God. The God that the Christians serve and the God that the Muslims serve are not the same God. The God that the Christians serve is a God of love. It's a God is love. It's a God that said, thou shalt not kill. And so if you say it is the same God, then it's very strange. So you see that the whole thing is lies and manipulations here and there. Oh, Father Abraham, Moses, we are doing this, we did it, the same. It's not the same God. There's something wrong somewhere. Because it can't be the same God. If it's the same God that the Christians and the Muslims are serving, then the Christians should be up in arms, attacking the Muslims anywhere they find them. But instead, the Christians obey the scriptures that talks about love. So this insecurity problem will not be solved by prayer. Because we've been praying since 1984. It's more than almost over 30 years now. Almost 40 years, Nigerians have been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. And it's getting worse. Yes, God answers prayers. But one of the things I believe that God will also do is to empower us to be able to do what we ought to do and not wait for Him to do it. So I believe the only way this insanity will be stopped is when the Christians themselves begin to arm themselves to defend themselves, to resist every attack and killing of the Fulanis, killing by the Fulanis. It's not acceptable. The other time in Urumi, when they say 4 Fulanis were killed, it attracted the whole north. It became a terrible issue. In fact, the governor of Edo State had to personally go and prostrate and beg, even with money compensation, because 4 Northerners, Fulanis, were killed. These same Fulanis have killed hundreds and thousands of people who've not heard anything from their leaders. Nothing from their leaders. Instead, it looks as if they are even supporting the insecurity. When that Deborah was killed in the north, we saw over 30 northern lawyers that came out to defend the killers. So it's part of their religion and part of their culture. So the only way out of this insecurity is for us to sit down very well and decide if we must live as one. How do we live as one? There's nothing wrong in bringing out 2 Nigeria from this one Nigerian state. Because Christians cannot change the Muslims. The Muslims can never change the Christians. Never. They can't change it. It's an age-long custom that has been there for years. So operating differently, different religion and the rest, they can't come and stay together. One believes in murder in the name of religion. In fact, it's even a little bit funny. Some people believe that the more people you kill, you will have 72 virgins waiting, given to you by God in heaven to tell you well done for committing murder. So it can't be the same God. We are talking about different God. So until we decide whether we want to stay together, how we want to stay together, we'll continue to have this problem. Because the North and the South are 2 different cultures, 2 different religions, 2 different ideas of life. 2 different ideas. And the reason why we've not been having massive murder, massive killing, and massive violence is because the Christians have been more matured and have been more tolerant. What the Muslims are doing to Christians now, imagine if it is the Christians that are doing it to Muslims. There would have been a civil war a long time ago. But the Christians have been able to endure some of all these things, tolerate these things, trying to see how Nigeria will work as one. But go work. It's very difficult for you to work because the idea is different. Their way of life is different. Their view of life is different. Completely different. So if we want to stay together, how do we stay together as one? How do we stay together as one if we must stay together? For anybody to tell you that the Christian genocide is not real is a lie. Christians have been killed. Look at the education girl, small girl. The only thing they need to do is to mention the word blasphemy, and they will set the person on fire and kill the person straight. So murder is tolerated as long as the person says blasphemy. The murder is tolerated. How do you live in a country like this? It's very difficult for Nigeria to work. We are deceiving ourselves. Nigeria cannot work. It's either one succumb to the other or they move separately. It's either Christians succumb to the Northerners, to the Muslims, or the Muslims succumb to Christians, or they move separately. Because too many Christians have been killed, too many Christians, too many pastors, too many lives have been shattered. For us to live in peace, it's becoming very obvious that we have to live separately. Because our ideas and our cultures are not the same. They are not the same at all. If the government say they don't know who those who are responsible for insecurity, the government might not be saying the truth. They have intelligence reports. They know those who are responsible for insecurity. They know those. They know those who took part in trying to start Boko Haram and make it big and finance Boko Haram. They know. There's nothing that Donald Trump is saying that is new to Nigerians. Nigerians leaders know who the terrorists are. They know. The only difference we have is that they don't have the balls to handle the issue. If what the terrorists are doing now, the Fulani terrorists are doing now, if it's the same thing that IPOP is doing, by now they will have ended it long time ago. For those who are sending to go and fight insecurity, they belong to the same tribe as the insecurity people. And they will not want to harm their brothers. So Nigerians become casuals. We must sit down to decide if we want Nigeria like this, or if we want to go to our separate ways. Until we meet again tomorrow, I just want you to think about this thing. Do we want Nigeria to continue as it is now? Or do we go our separate ways? The decision is in our leaders. And we are waiting for the answer. Take good care of yourself.